Our process for hiring virtual assistants is so good. One of our ex-clients copied the entire thing and is trying to sell it for $1,997. Typical marketer prices, right? Now, instead of having people going out there and buying this half-baked course they're doing for $2,000, I thought, hey, why not release our entire process step by step so you can go and hire some amazing team members for your business completely free. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name is Will and I talk about all things business growth, lead generation marketing, and in this case, hiring amazing team members. But let's get straight into it and let's go through what we do to hire, these amazing team members who have been with us for years and years, and how we've done it over 20 times to build an amazing team and amazing team culture. First things first, we're going to break this into 3 key parts. We're going to look at how we find these amazing people. We're then going to look at how we can attract them into our business to apply to work with us. And then we're going to look at how we train them and retain them so they turn into loyal, hardworking, amazing, long-term employees. Now, we're going to start at the very beginning and look at where we go to find these people. Hands down, my favorite source to get in front of the right people to work for us is actually an online site called onlinejobs.ph. This is a great site to go through and find all types of different roles, from graphics designers to tech people to virtual assistants and everything in between, right? I absolutely love this site, and it's a site that we use as default to hire new team members for ourselves and for some of our clients. Here's the process we use when it comes to filtering out and finding or getting the right people to apply to work with us for onlinejobs.ph. Now, one, you're going to need a really good job description. You're going to have to be super clear in terms of what you want these people to do, what they're going to do, and what responsibilities, I should say, they're going to have in your company, and then ultimately what skills and experiences you're looking for someone to come in and hit the ground running with this role. So if you don't have a job template, go ahead and Google it, find job template for virtual assistants, job description templates for virtual assistants, or send us a message and I can share what we use with you as well. Now, in terms of the JD or the job description, when you post it up, right, when you put it online and apply and get people to apply for it, if you don't do it right, your inbox is going to get hammered. It is going to get absolutely crushed by a whole bunch of replies, especially from people who just haven't even taken the time to really read what you're after. So my advice, and this is a step that we take in hiring anyone for ourselves and for clients, is to put an Easter egg into your job description. Now, what do I mean by that? So in our job descriptions, when we get people to apply, or when they apply, quarter of the way down, whatever it is, we have a line in it that says, if you're applying for this job, we want to know that you've read this job description seriously. We want to know that you thought about this and that this is the right one for you. So when you reply to us, when you apply to work with us, in your subject line, or the very first thing you say or you send over to us has to have this phrase in it. And the phrase can be whatever you want. I use some of my favorite song names in the phrases. I've had other friends who use things like honey badger, for instance, whatever the term is. It doesn't really matter, right? It's not about the term that you use. What it is about is the fact that someone's actually taken the time to carefully read your job description, go through it, and realize that, hey, you want them to prove that they're careful and they've read it and they've actually considered applying. So that in and of itself is going to get rid of probably about 75% of the applications that you can just completely ignore, because 75% of people, unfortunately, aren't actually going to read the description. They're just going to see what it is you're trying to find and just hit apply and send you whatever generic stuff they've got. So that is the first step that we take to finding the right people with us. Now, in terms of the job pay, do we put the pay range in the roles? Yes and no. For example, if we know that we're looking for really quality people, right? If we know we're paying higher rates than the rest of the market because we need someone who's super specialized, yes, we absolutely put the rates in there. But if it's more of a all-rounder role, or a role where there's a lot of people applying, and it's a little bit more generic, for example, just some data entry, stuff like that, you probably might not need to have the actual pay in the role itself. So it really does depend on the role itself and how much or how little you're paying in terms of the market range. By the way, I always encourage you to pay higher market range if you can, because it helps your employees stay around for longer, and it if there's a way that you can take care of them, that's always a great way to build loyalty and trust between you and your team. So that is the first step in terms of getting people to apply for your job, right? Having a great job description, having an Easter egg in there so you can filter through really, really quickly. So the next step is actually hiring. how do you actually find the right people to even make them an offer, to even talk to them, to even get them to the point where you can trust them to come into your business, even if it's as a trial. So here's our step-by-step process to going through and hiring and filtering people once we've got applications coming through. Now, first and foremost, as we said previously, the easiest way to filter is to look at, hey, have they sent me through the right subject line when they're applying for the job, right? Have they actually read through it and given me my phrase? They have, awesome, they move straight on to the next step. Next step is we do look through and scan through some of the replies, some of the resumes, and all we're looking for at this step is that they can communicate clearly and concisely, right? We want to make sure that they've got a good level of English, that they can actually form sentences and put emails together, and what they're sending across makes sense to read. So that's the next step. And you probably won't filter out too many with that, but it is good to see, if they've got their own unique style of communication, if they've got really great English, kind of good to know at that stage. So at this point, you should have a list of people who have applied and who have your phrase. Next step then is to filter them out to someone who can do the work well. And the way that we do that is we actually have a paid task. So we take a simple task and we say to maybe the top 10 people, can you go and do this for the next 2 hours and come back to us and give us the result? So in terms of what we do, we generally have them go through and clean up some data and generally give them some instructions to go and build a database, for example, of leads, and then come back to us in a couple of hours when they've done the task to judge the quality of their work. Here's the next special step to really help you narrow down on who's going to be a great fit and who's not. In the first set of instructions that we give to these people for the pay task, we purposely leave it really, really vague. So much so that if they just read it, there's really no way that they can completely understand what we're trying to get them to do or what the output should look like. And there's a reason for that. When we get these people to do these pay tasks, one of the things we say to them is, hey, if you're unsure, if you're uncertain, please reach out, please ask us a bunch of questions, come back to us and get clarity on exactly what you need to do before you go ahead and do it. And guaranteed, some of the people will not. They're just going to go through and put their own spin on it, think about it from their own perspective, and just give you some result that probably doesn't look like what you wanted, which is actually great because it means that you're not spending time interviewing these people where they're not ready or not willing to communicate with you to begin with. So again, that should filter out some people. Yes, you will have to pay them, right? It's only fair, but that saves you so much time. And when you're paying someone $3 to $4 an hour as a test task, it's not a lot of money to filter out and save your own time. So with all that being said, you've given paid tasks to 10 people. You've probably got about 5 of them come back and ask you questions, really get clarity on what they're trying to do. And from the 5, you might get 3 or 4 who have done a really good job and giving you something. You look at it and go, yep, this is actually pretty close to what we were expecting. Now, on the task itself, please make sure that it's a task that one of your team members or yourself have done before, so you at least have some kind of benchmark in terms of quality, and obviously give everybody the same task so you can compare apples to apples and look at the quality across all the people that you've paid. What happens next, right? At this point, you've probably got between 3 to 4 people that you think, oh, these people are actually really good. Like, they've communicated well, they've given me what I need, the output actually looks really decent. So what do we do now? Next step is to actually make offers to probably the top 2 or 3. And the reason why I say that is because it's really impossible to tell how someone is to work with until you've worked with them. So what I recommend is that you set them on a trial rate, right? And you can negotiate this with each individual. You can say to them, hey, I really would love you to join our team. Can we trial something for 2 weeks or a month, whatever it is, and get them to step in at a lower rate to start working with you. Now, at this point, what you're looking for is how they perform over the course of 2 weeks or a month. And if you've got 3 people in your company that you're paying for a month, yes, the first month is going to be a little bit more expensive, but hey, at least you're going to save yourself a lot of time going forward, because if you hire one person, they don't work out, you're going to have to go through this entire process again and again. So it probably is going to save you a whole bunch of time by hiring 2 or 3. And by the end of the 2 weeks, end of the month, you're going to know I've got a standout, I've got someone who's good, and I've got someone who might not cut it. If you happen to come across 2 really good people, 3 really good people, it's up to you. You can essentially go and hire or 2 or 3 if that's what you want to do. But otherwise, generally speaking, you'll know in your gut or based on the work, based on your communication, who the best person is for your company. And then you can up their rates, make them an offer, and have them permanently join your business from the first month onwards. So that covers the finding and the hiring process. But the key thing that a lot of people don't know about, or they don't think about, is how do you retain, keep employees, I should say, for a long time and have them turn into amazing team members who are hardworking, dedicated, loyal, and just amazing people who want to work and grow your business for you and with you. The way that we do this within our company when we hire for clients is actually pretty easy for us. We actually train them internally in our systems and our processes, and we treat them as an employee and give them all the skills they need. So skills around communications, skills around systems, right? Like we train them on Slack, on ClickUp, on email, on Gmail, on communications, on how to, really send things around and deal with other team members, culture, all that kind of stuff. So we make it easy for our clients by pushing them through our business and judging from our perspective if they're going to be good or not. But if you're doing this for yourself, here's how I would do it. I would actually encourage them to fail. Now, what do I mean by that? So culturally, the biggest thing that happens, right, is that people in the Philippines don't do a task exactly the way that you expect them to do it. And that's completely normal. That's natural. It's the first time in the business, right? In your business, I should say. It's their first time learning your process, your systems, your expectations. Even you stepping into a business like that probably aren't going to get it right the first time around. So what we don't want them to do is freak out, think that they failed us, and just ghost and leave the business because they're freaking out about disappointing us, right? That's not what we want. So in our teams, we actually actively encourage failure. Now, we don't encourage failing, saying, hey, go fail, and great, you didn't listen to my instructions, you just went off and did some completely wrong tasks, you're awesome. That's not what it's about. What it is about is giving them a very difficult task to do and telling them, hey, this is a very difficult task and you are completely, absolutely 100% not going to get this right. But what you then do is, as they attempt it, as they communicate with you and ask you questions and try to do things on their own and come back to you with the wrong results, we then celebrate, right? We celebrate the fact that they've attempted it. We celebrate the fact that they've tried to think about this on their own, taken initiative and tested things. And we post in our Slack channel, hey, everybody, give it up for this new person. They tried, right? They tried to do their best and they've been amazing. And we gave them an impossible task and they did their best with it, thought about it, and came back with us with some kind of result. It's not the right result, but it's some kind of result. And I'm just trying to reward them taking initiative. I'm trying to reward them taking ownership and responsibility over what we're trying to do. We make a whole big song and dance out of it. And then when we have our monthly event, monthly team catch up, we celebrate the fact that they've gone through and done this. So that puts them at ease, right? That helps them to understand that, hey, I'm not just going to get fired or yelled at for making small mistakes. I can take my time to settle in this company. They are open with me. They're teaching me, they're coaching me, they're training me, and it's a great support network. And so that's how we've been able to keep our employees very, very long term. For example, over the past 5 years, I've only probably had 2 employees leave voluntarily, and one of them left because they went to start their own business, which is amazing. In a nutshell, though, that is our entire system and operations. We look at the finding, which is onlinejobs.ph, having a good job description with good templates and an Easter egg. We look at hiring the right way and then keeping them long term. Now, if you want more information about this, if you want to have us hire a virtual assistant for you and train them in our business so you can save all the time and effort of doing the process, or if you just want more information, if you want the templates around, how you can list up good job descriptions, I'll leave some links below to contact us. Just reach out and let us know how we can help you, and I will see you on the next video. Catch you soon.